You can see here, Ivan has only one fight. Unfortunately, lost that fight. But hey, like I was saying earlier, the only fight Niclas has lost was his first fight, and look how well he's come on from that. So could that be something that Ivan has behind him, that he might have improved on his loss? Obviously, he has a good amateur background, which has a positive amateur background, Ivan. So we will see where that goes, and I think we're ready, and we'll just hand it over to the commentator, to the MC.
Our next middleweight bout will take place in 6 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, from Italy, Ivan Magnani!
But since then, he's put in a massive amount of work. When I first met him, he had a full-time job. He had to work that around training as well as coaching.
He's now gone full-time. That's what I was saying, why people need to be behind their fighters, because his fans initially, and his sponsors obviously, gave him the chance to do that and go pro.
It's good to see as well with a lot of these boxers that they're also helping to train the next generation of fighters as well.
And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, from Sweden, Niclas Elfstedt!
Quite a few of these boxers tonight are also coaches. So Niclas runs classes quite regularly. Christian, in fact, they both fight out of Fort Fitness. So they are helping to improve the scene as well as being part of it.
You see there, Niclas very composed with his coach, Kendall Pena.
Yeah, one thing that I've always kind of appreciated and kind of noticed about Niclas is he's very kind of focused. You'll see as soon as the bell goes, he goes into a different kind of mode. His eyes are fixated on the opponent. His entire thought is based around his game plan. So having Marie in the corner, it's more of a lucky talisman than anything else.
I expect a good clean fight and respect my commands at all times, okay? Touch gloves, come out fighting.
It's also an incredibly technical fighter. You touched on it earlier. He's not one to kind of waste shots or throw wildly, but when he unleashes, he does it with a lot of kind of power and a lot of kind of.
He's so clever.
Everything behind it. Yeah.
He's so clever. He might not be as, don't mean to be rude, technically gifted as other boxers would be because he started so late, but he's so intelligent, and that is what is bringing him up to par with the boxers of today, because he's so clever. Look, this is exactly what I was saying. Everything leads from his jab. I love the way he boxes. He's such a clean boxer, and he's enjoyable to watch. He's not sluggish. Since I've seen him box, I don't think I've ever seen him throw a sluggish or ridiculous punch.
No.
He's so clever. He throws that jab out so well, and it opens up everything for him.
He's got an incredibly wide and stable base as well.
That's because of the kickboxing.
Exactly.
But he's adapted that well. Now that could be dangerous to you when you're boxing, because boxing you need to be quite angled. You know, your shoulder really covering your chin or whatever. Kickboxing you need to be open because you need to be able to throw them kicks.
Yeah.
But he's adapted to that slowly, and it's working well for him.
See, there's definitely a contrast in the styles as well between Niclas in this bout and later on when we see Christian.
Yeah.
These two fight out of the same camp, but their mentalities are very different. I hope I don't offend with Christian with saying this, but Christian is more of a kind of like a bit of a maverick.
Yeah. He's more of get up in your face and rough it out with you, whereas like I think what you're going to touch on is I think Niclas is more of a technical. Let's play it as a chess master. If you know what I mean? He throws his punches. He's more technical the way he throws them. But both of them get success the way they fight. So it's always adapted to how you fight and the way you. It shows that it's not necessarily always your camp, because like you said, they got the same camp. It's just the person between them. The way they work. But Ivan taking a fight here to Niclas early on, and Niclas fighting on the back foot, which I don't think Niclas is too used to fighting on the back foot, to be fair, because he's normally dominating and controlling from the centre of the ring. But he's coming forward nicely.
No, it's a lot more even than I expected it to be so far. No disrespect to Ivan, but I did expect from past, with the way that Niclas fights and the way that Niclas does try and control things.
Yeah.
He's a very calculated boxer.
I mean, he is the underdog with the record as well, So, but it's a very good. He's doing a very good showing so far. I mean, he's taken a fight to Niclas. Oh, very good there from Niclas. You can hear Niclas's coach Kenda being very vocal there.
He's certainly one of the more vocal coaches on this island.
Yeah, he is.
Again,
good couple of punches there from Ivan.
Yeah, both of these fights in these first 3 minutes, they're certainly going for it.
That's a very, very, very close round. So this is what I was saying about the judges, the way they judge. Now, if you're a judge that judges on more of a technical base, whether what punch is connected, landed, I think you would have to then side with Niclas. But then if you're that type of judge that judges aggression, you'd have to go for Ivan. Yeah. So how would you judge a fight?
I think it's two very contrasting ways of looking at it. Niclas, you mentioned earlier, he does not waste much.
Doesn't.
Everything that he does, he kind of calculates and does almost like a risk analysis. Is this worth it? Whereas Ivan, he's come straight out. He's just thrown. A lot of them are hitting, but you can definitely see that it's not as controlled as it could be.
Yeah.
But he's definitely got that aggression. He's definitely got that drive in there.
And sometimes that catches judges' eyes. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a close round, the first round.
I think we saw it in the last one with Michael. I personally believe that any judge, whether this is true or not, would prefer somebody like Ivan, who does really go out there and try and box, than somebody that stands back and waits for the fight to come to them and hope for that lucky break.
For that lucky puncher.
Same again, second round, Ivan comes straight out. And a couple of these are getting very close to getting through.
He's handling it well though, Niclas. He's keeping his distance when he can. He's guarding well.
I think having that height and the reach is probably going to be a lot more kind of beneficial.
Very good punch there. Nice uppercut from Niclas.
Ivan shook it a bit, but
that uppercut actually was what gave Niclas the win last fight. He caused a lot of damage with that uppercut.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he'll be trying to input that more now. Because he leads with his jab, and then you get your opponent expecting the jab all the time and the backhand all the time, and then all of a sudden you stand to throw hooks and uppercuts or body shots, and it catches you off guard and it causes trouble for you.
He does have a very varied kind of repertoire of punches, Niclas. Again, whether that comes from the kind of kickboxing side and learning the angles, but one of my favourite punches of his is that overhand right, which has a lot of power behind it. Again, he kind of leans into it, but he's taken a lot of punches there from Ivan.
Yeah, he needs to be careful a little bit.
Niclas looks like he's, not that it kind of stunned him or anything, but it looks like that kind of shook him a little. He's still taking it here. Ivan's guard is very, very stable. A lot of the time Niclas is trying to go through the middle, particularly with that jab, but it's Ivan's hands are actually soaking up the majority of the punishment.
He's got a very good guard, Ivan.
certainly knows how to protect himself.
Good jab. Oh, good punch there from Niclas.
Just caught him on the counter.
Yep.
A lot of boxers would back off, but Ivan just carries on
Coming
going
straight forward and
forwards.
connecting himself actually now. Oh, good couple of punches there from Ivan. Good movement there from Niclas.
Yeah, he needed to get away from that. But again, Ivan does not let him get away.
No, not at all. Very, very close round so far.
That was very close, just glanced off of Ivan's glove.
That's a very, very close round. Very close. See, you can see some of the punches getting through.
Now both of these fighters doing very well. Again, Ivan in particular.
Oh, good left hook actually. They both caught each other with a left hook there.
What I'm liking about Ivan is, as we saw just at the end of that round, even when Niclas catches him,
He just keeps coming
he
forward.
doesn't back.
Now that's similar to the way actually Christian fights.
Yeah.
Christian, you can keep hitting Christian all night long and they just keep coming forward towards you. So I think that actually might be benefiting Niclas now, because Niclas and Christian spar all the time. Necessary put my finger on one of the fighters and say he's won it so far, because it is quite a close fight.
So based on those first 2 rounds, they're inseparable.
In my eyes, I think.
Yeah.
Good counter there from Niclas.
So again, that deadly uppercut that keeps coming.
Very good there from Ivan. Nice uppercut there again. Oh, very good actually from Ivan. Very good couple of punches. Niclas trying to position himself to throw some punches. Good movement.
You can almost see in Niclas' eyes the way that he's just trying to work out what he's going to get through this very strong guard.
You just see Ivan shaking off any attack that Niclas has thrown, to be fair.
He definitely appears to have a good chin on him.
Yeah. Definitely going to be a test. You can see Ivan actually breathing a little bit heavier than the previous rounds.
Yeah.
Good combination there. Now this is only, we're midway through the third round here. He's got a few rounds left. I mean, could this cause a problem for him in the latter end of the fight?
I mean, if you look at the body positioning and the kind of arms and where he's kind of keeping his chest as well, Ivan, it's all kind of changed in the last kind of minute and a half.
Yeah.
It's starting to drop a little. He's starting to get not sloppy, but not as kind of composed as he was previously. Which again, if Niclas keeps up this barrage that's coming now,
Could cause problems.
Yeah. And again, he's been looking for that opportunity to break through that guard. If Ivan keeps dropping his arms like he is, he's got a clear view through. And that's when Niclas can really kind of unleash that right hand, which we've seen before in his previous fights. Has a lot of kind of strength and power behind it. It's put down 5 fighters already.
Yeah.
His corner really liking this kind of second half of the third round.
Ivan just shaking it off there, as you saw there.
It's going to take a lot to put either of these two down.
Yeah, I think so. Good uppercut there.
Ivan is looking sluggish, but he's still not backing away.
No, he's still there throwing. Good backhand there. And again, very
And
good.
he's landing a lot of these on Niclas.
Yeah.
I think that looked like it stunned him a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, I think he definitely has. I think that bell came quite well for Niclas there. I think he got caught a little bit on the chin and might have stunned him a little bit and might have caused him some trouble.
That left there as he stepped forward.
Very good. He caught Niclas with a good few punches afterwards as well. Very good uppercut there. You can see that, and again the right again, and again. Beautiful uppercut again. But Niclas answered well. I mean, it's nice to see. Beautiful uppercut. Good movement.
Both fighters look to stick into what they intended to do.
Yeah.
Again, aside from that slight adjustment in the body kind of position and everything with Ivan, both of these chaps have stayed pretty much the same throughout these 4 rounds.
Yeah. Left up. Might have just had a little bit of a problem there.
So yeah, Ivan came straight out there and he's not letting Niclas get away. He's just pummeling him constantly. Not a lot of these are getting through, but they'll still take it out of Niclas.
You can see though, Ivan coming forward. Very, very close fight.
Niclas working that uppercut to good effect.
Good body shot, nice uppercut, and again a body shot, very good combination here. But Ivan replying well. Oh, nice overhand from Ivan.
Niclas's corner just telling him to get in and out, but Ivan is not allowing that. Anytime Niclas tries to back away or tries to move around him, he's getting followed and stalked all the way around this ring. Both of these are starting to look a bit tired.
Looking a little bit tired now.
And this is where the danger comes in. As soon as that fatigue sets in, you're at risk. So they just need to be careful because there are still further 2 rounds after this one. It's just trading combinations. Neither of these are causing too much damage, but it's constant.
Yeah. See, I think you can see fatigue kicking in a little bit because this is the first time actually they've been holding on a little bit.
Yeah.
You can see they're working out, they're fighting out of the clinch, which is good. I think the ref going to have to separate them here. You can see Mark there telling the fighter out. Very good refereeing there from Mark. Oh, good 1-2 there from. Oh, and again. Good movement from Ivan.
Ivan is certainly keeping this pressure going.
He is.
Particularly when they're inside as well, Ivan is incredibly strong.
That's the type of fight he needs to be fighting because obviously Niclas has the height on him and the reach advantage. That's what Ivan needs to be doing. He's doing that quite well. I mean, I can't, like I said earlier, I still can't pinpoint and say he's winning because it's very hard. I mean, it's a very close fight. Ivan's definitely putting up a good fight, and Niclas likewise.
There's been quite a few of these shots, particularly like a couple of seconds ago that we just saw there, where if that catches and if it catches a lot more cleaner, Niclas is in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah.
Ivan is no slouch. He's got a lot of power.
No, Ivan is definitely asking Niclas some questions about his defence.
And you can see when they're doing the slow motion, you can see the imperfections in the way that Ivan is throwing out a few of these.
Yes.
Particularly when he brings across that right cross, it's not as stable as it could be.
Yeah.
If he kind of lines up the wrist and the arm all the way through.
Let me put it this way. If Ivan is throwing his right hand the way that Niclas throws his right hand, Niclas could be in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. It would definitely help for Niclas to have that belt, because that's when he starts to kind of slagging off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Ivan is not letting him have any room at all.
Yeah.
It's just constant pressure, which it's good to see because that's what he needs to do. As you said, you've got the reach and the height advantage. Ivan needs to get in there, and he's doing just that.
Yeah.
Quite a few nice combinations coming through, but they just need to be landing more and more.
1-2 there from Ivan.
I think that's the first time that they've actually stood and just checked each other out for a little bit. Nice cross there. Niclas is doing well at getting that out of the way of some of these. But as soon as he turns around, Ivan's straight back in front of him. Just heard Niclas's corner saying there that a lot of these punches being thrown by Ivan are getting telegraphed. Again, as you get more and more tired, you find it more difficult to not kind of like wind up for your punches. But again, Niclas needs to have the right frame of mind and the right kind of energy levels.
Oh, good right
to see
hand there
that.
from Ivan. Needs to be careful here, Niclas, because he is throwing and he's being left open. He's leaving himself open slightly.
Against a box like Ivan, you can't do that.
Yeah. Sometimes the way Ivan throws his punches, they come out of nowhere, and that's the one that could harm you.
We have no clock at the moment. But we must be nearing the
Yeah, I think
towards
there's
the
a
end
little
of
bit
this
of
round.
technical difficulty, unfortunately. Nothing that won't be sorted out though.
There we go.
Last 10.
Referee just having a quick word about holding. It's not really been much of an issue in here, but
No, not at all. They've both been boxing their own fight and not really worried about clinching. You can see there, Niclas being just caught off guard for a bit.
yeah, he's certainly looking tired over there in the corner.
Nice 1-2 again from Ivan. As you can see in the replays, you can see that's just a little bit where I think Niclas has become a little bit complacent.
Committing fully
Yeah.
into it. He just seems to like back away halfway through the strike.
That round, I think, was the only round out of the previous rounds where Niclas, I think, looked a little bit on the less side there, if you know what I mean. Normally he was controlling a little bit better and it was more of a 50-50, but I personally, I don't know how you saw it, I think Ivan controlled that round a bit more.
Yeah.
But again, we need to see how how the other rounds were judged. It's definitely going to be a good, interesting last round.
No, I'm certainly impressed with the way that Ivan has boxed throughout this. We're now in the kind of final 3 minutes, but the previous 15, he's not done much wrong. Again, he's not the most kind of impressive fighter to see, but in terms of his heart, in terms of the kind of work rate,
It's very good.
he's kept it up the entire way through. Anything Niclas has put out there, it's been returned to him.
Yeah.
And in the last kind of 2 rounds, we've seen quite a few times where Ivan has kind of rocked him a little.
Yeah.
Niclas just shaking his head there, seems to be out of frustration.
A very good punch there. And again, very nice. And again, beautiful. It's definitely been a
Few
good
of
test
those,
for both boxers.
Definitely. And a few of those just caught very flush on the side of Ivan's chin, one with the left, one with the right. Seems to have invigorated Niclas a bit. So we have a minute and a half left of this, our 6th fight of the night. Sorry, 5th fight of the night. Both boxers just trying to get through the guards of the others. All the way through this fight, Ivan's guard has been very strong, something like that. Niclas there, just letting his body drop as well, which is a bit dangerous given the fact that Ivan will happily take it to him.
Oh, very good punch there from Ivan. And Niclas Hans as well.
Niclas is looking drained towards the end of this.
He looks a bit tired, doesn't he now?
He's Got 30 seconds to hold on.
Oh, good uppercut there from Ivan. And Niclas replies well.
It has just been back and forth for these two.
Very good fight.
Some body shots coming in there from Niclas, but Ivan then coming back with the headshots.
Oh, very good end actually for Ivan, I think.
Both of them fighting right through to the bell there.
Yeah, very good fight.
No, I'm very impressed and everything with what Ivan managed to do during that.
Yeah, he definitely put a fight on that. More than I expected. Let's just say that. You know, that's what I was trying to say. You can't really judge the records.
No.
You know, because Ivan had a good career in his amateur days. So, you know, unfortunately, he started off with a loss. But like I said, Niclas started off with a loss. So, you know, that's that, and he just proved exactly what both of us were saying, that you can't really look at the record and say too much about it necessarily. You definitely both put on a good fight for the fans, for sure.
And again, just as a reminder, like, Ivan was not originally on this card.
No, that's what I mean. He took this on short notice. He took this on short notice and put on a show. Could that be the thing that maybe affected Niclas a little bit? Could that put him off, knowing he's trained to fight a certain fighter, and with literally less than 24 hours notice ended up fighting someone else?
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see how the scorecards have it, but it's definitely going to be close.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be close.
So
It'd be nice to hear the words of the winner after the results out. I think we're ready for a result soon.
looking like they're just being handed back to the referee. Or at least one of them was. See, I'm like you, I'm expecting this to be a very close decision. Which is probably explaining why they're just taking their time with it.
Just making sure that they've got everything right, because it was such a close fight. I think we're ready. Are we?
I think they're still working through it. Yeah, regardless of who wins this, both of these fighters took everything into that ring.
They did.
They left nothing.
Much respect for both fighters there.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, the referee would like to congratulate both boxers after a very, very terrific competition.
Definitely, huh? Could be a chance for fight of the night, this.
However, there can only be one winner. By majority decision.
Makes sense.
Red corner.
Okay.
Niclas.
I don't think either of the fighters can complain about the result. I'm not surprised that it's split, and I've got a huge amount of respect for Ivan after that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, majority decision makes sense because it was such a close fight.